Everyone keeps telling you to invest in yourself, but where exactly should you start? This is a question many of us battle with, as there are countless options available. But what if I told you that certain skills are better than the rest? Ones that will give you the most leverage. Today, I'm going to cover the high income skills and character traits that you need to learn. While this doesn't cover every skill, just a selected few, I do believe that these are some of the skills creating the highest leverage for you. First, let's talk about sales. There's a stigma around sales, often seen as something sleazy or dishonest. I myself included saw sales as a bad thing initially, until I have learned what it really stood for. Unfortunately, due to the fact that there are lots of scams and sleazy salespeople out there, sales gets a really bad rap. But here's the thing. Real sales is not just about convincing someone to buy a product or a service. It is about effective communication, understanding people's needs, and offering the right solutions. Sales is essential in every business. Without sales, there is no income. And without income, every business will fail. You need a top sales team, whatever product or service you are selling. But it is not just in business where sales is important, as we are constantly selling throughout our lives. When you are dating, applying for a job, or applying for a rental apartment, you always have to put yourself out there. How effectively you can convince someone on your point of view will influence how well you are doing financially. There's a saying which goes something like this: a mediocre product with excellent marketing outperforms a great product with poor marketing. It is the same for people as well. If you do a great job selling yourself, you will potentially have a better chance at becoming successful than the person who has more experience but has trouble selling themselves. This doesn't mean that quality isn't important, because it is crucial, but without the right marketing and sales approach, even the best products and people can go unnoticed. Let's now move on and talk about the next skill on my list, and that is taking action. Have you ever had a brilliant idea, one that you are sure could change your life or even the world? But then you see someone else bring it to life and you are left heartbroken and wondering, why wasn't that me? Think about it. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of people with the same idea as you. But not many take that crucial step forward. And that is what sets the doers apart from the dreamers. It is not about having a unique idea. It is about execution. But many of these ideas are usually overshadowed by fear, doubts, and uncertainty. I have been there and felt these emotions too when I started different projects. It is not easy, but there are people out there with less skill, less knowledge, and less experience than what you have, and are doing something you want to do, benefiting from it already. This is why taking action is on my list of high income earning skills. It seems easy until you start. I do believe that you have to be naive to a healthy level to start something new. There are several projects I have started which I probably wouldn't have started at all if I would have known up front that it was going to be as difficult as it was to execute them. The ability to take action is something you sharpen with time and experience. But for sure, it is one with the biggest potential for exceptional returns. Like the greatest hockey player of all time, Wayne Gretzky said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." So start taking your shots, because you never know where it will lead you. Next, let's discuss the importance of adaptability. I define this as the ability and willingness to change course and pivot if necessary. It is one thing to stay focused and determined to succeed, but most successful people failed over and over again. In the middle of this failure, they had to have the ability to adapt and pivot in a direction that was beneficial for them. Failure is there to teach us, but if we are not adaptable, we can't learn from our mistakes. By default, most people are programmed to deny and resist any change at the initial stages. This is actually characterized by the Kubler-Ross change curve. This describes the 4 stages most people go through as they adjust to change. When a change is first introduced, people's initial response may be shock or denial as they react to the challenge to the status quo. Once the reality of change starts to hit, people tend to react negatively and move on to stage 2. They may fear the impact and actively resist or even protest against these changes. At stage 3, people stop focusing on what they have lost and start to accept the changes. They begin testing and exploring what they mean and learn how they must adapt. By stage 4, they not only accept the changes, but also start to embrace them by rebuilding their ways of working. In today's world, change is happening at a blistering pace because efficiency is being prioritized. One of the best examples of change that disrupted the world in the past 30 years or so was when the internet began to emerge. Many things went digital, and the companies that refused to make the transition would eventually fail. The best examples include video stores like Blockbuster or recording stores like HMV, which failed to make an online transition and as a result went bankrupt. Traditional taxi companies were also left behind as they didn't innovate and lost market share in the process. Innovators in the space like Netflix, Spotify and Uber would then go on to fill this space and improve on efficiency. As a result, they were heavily rewarded. But the same can be said for people. The people who adapted to the internet in the early 2000s and learned how to use it reaped the rewards. Being able to adapt and embrace change is a very important skill in today's fast-paced and ever-changing environment. And now, we are facing an even greater wave of transformation. Just as the internet revolutionized industries and personal lives, artificial intelligence is the next frontier, rapidly reshaping the world. In the same way that Blockbuster, HMV and taxi companies didn't adapt to the internet, the companies of today that don't adapt to AI will be left behind. The same can be said for individuals. If you learn how to use AI as a tool and leverage it, you will be amazed to see what it can do for you. You don't have to be an IT person either. You just have to start trying to understand how it works, what different AI tools are out there, and how you can benefit from them. Learning how to use AI is quickly becoming a high-income skill. The long-term potential is huge. Change will happen whether you like it or not. You can go against this change or adapt and focus on how you can take advantage and monetize it. Next, let's discuss personal branding. A personal brand is something that is subconsciously presented in people's minds when they are talking or thinking about you. Just think of Mark Zuckerberg with his signature hoodie and jeans, or Elon Musk's bold visions for the future. Your personal brand plays a pivotal role in your success, but that doesn't happen overnight. So you need to ask yourself what your personal brand is. What do people think of when they talk about you or see you? While you may think this is trivial, the skill of knowing your personal brand and what you stand for will greatly impact many of your future opportunities. Your personal brand can determine what your next job is going to be, what your next promotion will look like, or what type of audience you are attracting. And in today's economy, creators with strong personal brands are quickly becoming some of the most powerful people. It is time you start thinking about personal branding as more than just your values, but a skill that can be perfected and used to help you get ahead. Start by identifying the values you want to be known for and build a personal brand around those. People who share your values will want to connect with you, and personal branding will help you to reach your goal faster. Now, there's one more skill I have included. This one is highly underrated, but it makes sense when put into context. And that is personal finance. More specifically, perfecting the ability to use your money to your advantage. Think of it this way. No matter how much you earn, the real power lies in how you use it. If you are someone that earns 6 figures but spends it all away, you are not better off than someone who earns 60k and spends it all. Your future is staying stagnant. This is where budgeting helps you to understand where your money is going, saving prepares you for the unforeseen, and investing grows your wealth over time. Mastering these skills isn't just about securing your finances. It is about empowering yourself to make informed decisions that pave the way for financial freedom. Now, I know nobody is good at everything, but based on my own experiences, I feel that a lot of people don't realize they already have several of these skills. If you can blend them together it can help you to get better ahead. So think about the skills you already have and write them down. This is your unfair advantage. It is something that you have developed already, either through life experiences or through work. You can use these skills to your advantage if you create a plan of action on how to leverage these. There is no better time to start than today, right now. And that was it for today's video on high income skills. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch another video. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.